All right, so it's been a bit over 7 minutes so far. Please try to submit your answers as soon as possible so that we can continue to the next topic. I'd like to see some answers and just to see some participation. So I got one answer here so far, so I'm actually going to take this one up. While I take this up, I urge you guys to submit your answer, even if it's short. That's fine. Let's start here. Nathan, can you read your answer for us, please?
As we were relaxing at the beach, I had an uneasy feeling. I looked towards the sky and I see a ball of light crashing down. At first, I thought it was nothing and tried to calm myself down. However, I heard an explosion and it got an accurate feeling. Immediately, I grabbed my family's attention and told them to leave instantly. However, I was basically my mom's subservient child. Another explosion occurred, and that caught our attention. Almost instantly, we packed up. We packed up. However, another ball was crashing down, this time heading towards us. As we braced ourselves, the star-like figure slammed into us. The scene uh, was blacked out.
All right, so wonderful paragraph right here. Extremely creative. You have a great plot, and I like how you're building it up. You are adding a lot of action, but it's slowly increasing and increasing. Excellent writing skills. So let's proofread this. As we were relaxing at the beach, I had an uneasy feeling. I looked towards the sky and I see a ball of light crashing down. Uh, okay, so this sentence right here, we have two commas, but we actually don't need either of these commas. But we included them for the sake of pausing. So that's actually fine. It's it adds a good amount of pause when we're speaking out loud, so that's okay. So I'll leave it as it is. At first, I thought, all right, simple typo right there. I thought it was nothing, and I tried to calm myself down. All right, so this one we can take out the comma. However, I heard an explosion and got an acrid feeling. Nicely done. So we're using acrid correctly in the sense of you got a harsh, strong, and kind of negative type of feeling, a bad feeling about things. Now, if we're going to use the word acrid, a very strong type of description, let's follow that with a strong verb. So instead of saying you simply got, we can say you felt a certain feeling and felt an acrid feeling. And we can probably say an acrid, oh yeah, feeling's fine. An acrid, okay. I was thinking an acrid feeling or an acrid sensation. Let's change to sensation. All right. And felt an acrid sensation. Immediately, I grabbed my family's attention and told them to leave instantly. Um, yeah, so right here, we don't need this comma. However, I was basically my mom's subservient child. Nicely done. So we're using subservient correctly. Another explosion occurred, and that caught her attention. Almost instantly, we packed up. However, another ball was crashing down, this time headed towards. So we already used however once up here. And we also used the phrase, another explosion occurred. We have another right here. So we can change up the phrasing just to use a mix of words instead. So we can say, suddenly, oops, suddenly a second ball was crashing down. This time headed towards us. As we brace ourselves, the star-like figure slammed into us. The scene was blacked out. All right, excellent job here. Great use of both vocab words. And just very minor corrections here and there. So overall, very nicely written. We got one more answer in the chat. Let's check this out. Oops. All right, Halstead, can you read your answer, please?
Okay, one day people was the subservient of a person called Boss who talks acridly. Everyone doesn't like Boss because of his harshness. Everyone is planning an assassination plot. Wait, I should add against a boss. He plans
Against boss. Okay.
he plans to kill Boss by surprise because everyone hates Boss. People and everyone formed the ultimate duo and collected followers to execute the plan. The assassination plot. Every, everyone and people have gained enough followers to execute the plan. Everyone and people are very happy. On the time of the event, the was bad. Actually, there should be a very bad. So their plan was canceled. Plus, there should be a THEIR, I think.
Yep. THER. Oops, misspelled that. All right, nicely done. So this one I'm going to put the correction in here.
The characters is people, everyone, and boss. Those are the characters.
Yeah. I can tell. They're all capitalized, so that's great. It makes it easy to identify. So yeah, very unique way of naming your characters. It does add a bit of complexity when it comes to figuring out the verbs. But that's fine. So overall, as you're reading, you're correcting your paragraph and you're making the right corrections. So everything seems pretty good to me. I'm just going to go through it one more time just in case. One day, people was the subservient of a person called boss who talks accurately. So right here, we'll put a comma. And who talks accurately sounds good to me. Yeah, basically just talking about somebody who has a very harsh, toxic type of tone when they're speaking. Everyone doesn't like boss because of his harshness, so everyone is another person, singular person. Everyone is planning an assassination plot against boss, plans to kill boss by surprise because everyone hates boss. All right, so although this makes sense, we we expect higher level writing. So he plans to kill him because he hates boss. Fair enough, but let's try to add a bit more complexity to our sentences. So it's pretty simple, and a lot of the sentences in this paragraph are kind of simple. Like this happened, then this happened, because this happened. Let's try to add a bit more complexity. Switch up the sentence structures, add some emotion, use some different writing tactics like suspense, descriptions, all that kind of stuff. So let's continue. People and everyone formed the ultimate duo and collected followers to execute the assassination plot. So that sentence sounds good. That's fine. Everyone and people have gained enough followers to execute the plan. Everyone and people are very happy. So this right here,
I think
pretty simple sentence. We can combine that with this. Yeah, sorry, go ahead.
I think the very should be switched with extremely
Sure.
to make
Are
it more
extremely
hard.
happy.
And the extremely bad part.
And extremely bad over here.
Yeah.
All right, not too bad. So I'll cross out the varies. Oops. All right. Everyone and people are extremely happy on the time of the event. So it should be at the time of the event. The weather was extremely bad, so their plan was canceled. All right. So even though as you're writing, you don't really have too many mistakes here. You corrected them as you're going. the thing that I do want to challenge you is to just try to write with some more complexity. So what does that look like? That means switching up these sentence structures, using literary devices / techniques. So that could be like similes, metaphors, personifications, whatever it is. Descriptions. That can be like the show don't tell type of writing style. Emotion, possibly. Yeah. Overall, we're trying to bump up our answers. We want to use some various elements to make it complex. Nevertheless, excellently written in terms of proofreading. Very little I can change, so nicely done there. We got another answer in the chat, so let's check this out. All right, Jason, can you read your answer for us, please?
It was May Day and our city held a celebration trade as usual. We were having lots of fun. We danced, we sang, and we laughed. Just as we were fully immersed in the trade, a loud sound with acrid smell suddenly prevented us from continuing our joys. All of us All of us considered it as an explosion. Without hesitation, we ran as quickly as we could. Nevertheless, the radio announced, "Ladies and gentlemen, please be calm. It was just a firecracker that went off." Then we were like subservient servants waiting back to the trade to enjoy the marvelous dancing.
All right, nicely done. So, the first thing that I noticed is we're describing something called a celebration trade. Not entirely sure what a celebration trade is. I've never heard of that before. So maybe we can try to use another noun. I was thinking we can just change trade to parade. Some kind of, celebratory group celebration. I don't know what else to say. So yeah, let's make that change here. And I saw trade again right here. We'll make the change there too. So it was May Day, and our city held the celebration parade as usual. Also, we've got to put a comma here. We were having lots of fun. We danced, we sang, and we laughed. So these should all be past tense. Because we said were, this is past tense. Therefore, the other verbs have to be past tense as well. I do want to add another couple of words here. We were having lots of fun as we were all as we had all danced, sang, and laughed. As we had all, yeah, I think that sounds okay. Cross this out. Just as we were fully immersed in the parade, a loud sound with acrid smell. So let's, instead of saying sound, let's actually define what the sound is. Let's say explosion, for example. Because if we're going to say something with smell, we want to use a noun that actually has smell. So we want to use, like sound doesn't have smell. Something more specific like explosion, that has smell. That has a smell of gas. So a loud explosion. With acrid smell suddenly prevented us from continuing our joyous celebrations. All of us considered it as an explosion without hesitation. Let's say and without hesitation. We ran as quickly as we could. Nevertheless, the radio announced, put a space here, "Ladies and gentlemen, please be calm. It was just a firecracker that went wrong." Then we're like subservient servant. we can just cross this word out. It doesn't really need to be here. Then, like subservient servants, make it plural.
I think I miss we. I want to say that we were like subservient servants.
Oh, then we were like subservient.
Yes.
Yeah,
And
sure. So
and,
we were
and I
like
think and I
yeah,
think
go ahead.
in this way it can go to correct.
Can you repeat that last part, please?
I think the type I think like this way it can go correct as well.
Yeah. It makes sense. If we were to say then we were like subservient servants, that sounds good. This also makes sense too, and it kind of adds a bit of a more I don't want to say mature type of writing style, but it adds a more creative writing style because we're not like explicitly saying we felt this, we did this. We're kind of implying it, so it adds a little bit of a more creative take on how do we describe ourselves. So I'm actually going to keep it as this way. It sounds a bit nicer. Then, like subservient servants, we went back. So this we can just say went back to the trade to enjoy the marvelous dancing. And trade again, I am going to change that to parade. All right, so nicely done. So great topic that you described here. A few changes, mostly it's just about the way we're phrasing things, just to make them sound smoother. Your punctuation is fine. Your word choices are all fine. Just a little bit of the phrasing, just rearranging the words to make it sound a bit more smooth. Overall, nicely done, Jason. So let's shift gears. Let's go over to our short story. Here's the first slide. Let's have it, George. Can you read this slide for us, please?
Yeah. Short story, The Keeper of Secrets. The Gorgon Library was strangely silent. Its incomprehension of the hyacinths and rows of dusty books shelved. Only against her watch releasing she was the last person left in the building, apart from Mr. Hargrove, the elderly librarian. The library was her sanctuary, a place where she could escape the chores of home and the pressures of school. She had come here to work on her history project, but he had been distracted by an old Rathbone book tucked away in the special collocation section. Its title, "The Keeper of Secrets," was embossed in faded gold letters that seemed to shimmer as she reached for it.
All right, nicely done. And Amy, can you read this slide, please?
Opening the book, Olivia was surprised to find its pages completely blank. Disappointed, she almost returned it to the shelf, but then a line of text began to appear, as though being written by an invisible hand. To open the door, one must ask the right question. Intrigued, she stared at the words, trying to make sense of them. As she turned the pages, more sentences appeared, each one cryptic and puzzling. "What is this?" she whispered, but there was no one to answer. She carried this book to her favorite corner by the arched window, the moonlight casting long shadows across the room. As she traced her fingers over the words, a strange warmth seeped into her skin. Suddenly the room seemed to change. The air grew heavier, and the quiet hum of the library became an oppressive silence. She glanced around, half expecting Mr. Hargrove to appear and scold for her touching the special collections. But the librarian was nowhere in sight.
All right. Excellent job. And let's go with Halstead. Can you read your answer, please? Sorry, can you read the slide, please?
Okay. The sentences in the book now demanded her attention. Do you wish to uncover what has been lost? They asked. Olivia hesitated, feeling the mix of curiosity and unease. Finally, she muttered yes. The moment she spoke, the words dissolved, and a map began to form on the blank pages. The map depicted a place she didn't recognize, with symbols and markings that seemed ancient. She felt a tug at her consciousness, as if the book were inviting her to step inside its world. Before she could think, the room tilted. She fell forward, landing on a soft grass under the starless sky. The library was gone, replaced by a vast, unfamiliar landscape. The book was still in her hands, its pages now glowing faintly. She could see the markings from the map reflected in her surroundings: a crooked tree, a stone archway, and a path that stretched endlessly into the darkness.
All right, great job. And our next slide. Nathan, can you read the slide?
Sorry, I was in the bathroom. As she followed the path, Olivia became aware of whispers surrounding her, though she couldn't tell where they were coming from. Who's there? She called, her voice trembling. No answer came, but the whispers grew louder, speaking in a language she didn't understand. The stone archway loomed ahead, and she felt compelled to pass through it. She looked a deeper She took a deep breath, clutching the book tightly, and stepped forward. Their air changed as she tossed the threshold, growing colder. On the other side of the archway stood a figure cloaked in shadow, holding a staff, something with a glowing orb. You've come so far. Yeah, you've come far, but you must prove your worth, the figure said, its voice echoing unnaturally. What is it you seek? Olivia hesitated, unsure how to answer. The words from the book came back to her. To open a book, one must ask the right question. Sorry.
All right, nicely done. And our final slide here. Melinda, can you read this slide for us, please?
Her mind raced, and finally she said, "What is this? What is the truth?" The figure lowered its staff, and the orb flared brightly, illuminating a hidden door in the stone archway. "The truth lies within," it says, stepping aside. Olivia moves towards the door, her heart pounding. As she reached for the handle, the whisper faded, replaced by a silence so profound it felt alive. She opened the door to find a room filled with mirrors, each reflecting a different version of herself. Some were older, others younger, and some bore scars she didn't recognize. In the center of the room was a pedestal with an inscription, "Knowing yourself, and the secret will reveal themselves." Olivia stepped forward, realizing the journey was far from over.
All right, excellent job. So that's the end of our short story there. Let's check out a few questions. The first question says, what initially intrigues Olivia about the Keeper of Secrets? So what initially intrigued her about the Keeper of Secrets? All right, so we got a few answers. Looks like a mix between B and C. So B says it's blank pages. C says it's glowing letters. I do think that its glowing letters were mentioned. However, the part that intrigued her most was the blank pages. So nicely done. Number 2, what triggers Olivia's journey into the mysterious landscape? So, what triggers her to take this journey? What do we think? All right, so I got, again, a mix of answers here. All right, so it looks like we're saying almost every answer. So option A, reading aloud from the book. Probably not the most accurate answer that we can put here. Option B, touching a glowing orb. So this was definitely one of the elements of our story. However, there is another element that closely relates to our question as to why she started her journey. It would have to be option D. This one says, asking a question out loud. So this is the answer. Moving on, what does the figure in the cloak demand from Olivia? So what does the figure in the cloak demand from her? Looks like we're saying option B. So this seems to be correct, to prove her worth. Excellent job. So option B, looks like everyone's saying that. And the final multiple choice question, what theme is primarily explored in the story? All right. Well done. So we got a couple answers, both saying C, all three saying C. Nicely done. The search for identity. Perfect. All right. So now let's shift gears to our long answer questions. The first one says, discuss how the author uses the book, The Keeper of Secrets, as a symbol in the story. What does it represent, and how does it help guide Olivia's journey? So here we're dealing with symbolism, and our item is the book. How does that play a role as a symbol in the story? So go ahead, write about that topic. As you do, I'm going to post the story in the chat, so just give me a second. And if you have any questions, please let me know. All right, so I see a couple answers in the chat. Let's take those up. Okay, Halstead, can you read your answer for us, please?
Okay. The author uses the book as a symbol by adding a sense of mystery in the story.
All right, so nicely done. This is absolutely a suitable answer, a relatable answer, by adding a sense of mystery. Great topic sentence. However, let's try to back it up next time. Let's try to add some detail in here and some evidence from the story to explain why your answer is correct. So we can say something along the lines of how it acts as a guide, it acts as a test, it pushes our main character, it kind of deals with the conflict of the story in terms of Olivia being fearful and then kind of, just fighting through her fears. All that kind of stuff can aid in explaining our topic, sense of mystery. So, as a note, try to back up your answer with relevant details. Try to support, let's say that. All right, moving on. Amy, can you read your answer for us, please?
The book, The Keeper of Secrets, represented curiosity and secrets. It guides Olivia's journey because every one place that she needs to answer a question to go through is an answer from the book. For example, the first time the cloaked figure asked her to prove her worth and to tell him why she was here. She answered the question from the first page of the book. After she answered, she could go into the next room to go forward out of this mysterious maze. The book guides Olivia by half telling her what to answer.
All right, so excellent answer right here. This first topic sentence is excellent, straight to the point, clearly states your answer, and you don't, dance around your answer. You just state it and you go on. And this is correct. It adds a sense of curiosity, secret, just like our previous answer, sense of mystery. You guys are absolutely on the right track, so that's great. It guides Olivia's journey because every one place that she needs to answer a question to go through is an answer from the book. So we don't really have to say every one place. We can say either every single place or every place. So I'm just going to take out the word one. Every place that she needs to answer a question to, that she needs to answer a question to go through is an answer from the book. All right. For maybe we might need a comma right here just to place a pause. All right, moving on. For example, the first time the cloaked figure asked her to prove her worth and to tell him why she was here. The first time okay, so this is not really, this is like a sentence that's kind of requiring us to add more. It's not a complete sentence. For example, the first time, I guess you can just simply say in the first time, comma. So at least now we're establishing what the time frame is. So in the first time, the cloaked figure asked her to prove her worth and to tell him why she was here. She answered the question from the first page of the book. After she answered, she could go into the next room to go forward out of this mysterious maze. All right, nicely done. The wording is a little confusing, but it technically makes sense, so it's fine. Let's check out our next answers as well. All right, we got a few more, so that's great. Nathan, can you read your answer for us, please?
The book represents the curiosity and forgotten things of Olivia. You see, she was sucked into the book, The Keeper of Secrets. She was very curious, and the book asked her if she wanted to uncover forgotten secrets. She said yes, but she didn't expect the outcome of the book. The book responded, "Know yourself, and the secrets will reveal themselves." The book guided and told her that she needs to know herself, and she realizes that her journey was unfinished. The more you progress through life, the more secrets you uncover.
All right, so excellent job. And what I really like about your answer, Nathan, is that you included a direct quote to back up your answer. So that's an excellent technique to use. So let's proofread this. The book represents the curiosity and forgotten things of Olivia. You see, she was sucked into the book, The Keeper of Secrets. When we're introducing the book, we can just add a comma right there. She was very curious, and the book asked her if she wants to uncover forgotten secrets. All right, so because we're in the past tense, I do feel like this verb has to change to the past tense as well. He said yes, but so we don't really need the quotations here. We can just say she said yes, or she agreed. Either one would make sense. But simply just quoting one word as her response, probably not necessary. So she said yes, but she didn't expect the outcome of the book. The book responded, and we gotta put a comma here. Know yourself, and the secrets will reveal themselves. Put a space here. The book guided and told her that she needs to know herself. Yep. And she realizes that her journey was unfinished. The more you progress through life, the more secrets you uncover. All right, nicely done. So I like this explanation right here to further detail the quote. And it relates back to our topic of curiosity, to kind of be forever learning about yourself in order to progress. Nicely done. Very few corrections I can make here, so very well written. Let's move on to our next answer here. Jason, can you read your answer for us, please?
The book, The Keeper of Secrets, is a story about. The scenes happening in the story are all caused by this book. Initially, Olivia found this book in the library. It appeared worse and led Olivia to a mystery journey. The book kept giving Olivia clues to let her go for war.
All right. Nicely done. So we are defining the symbol of the book to be the storyline. So in that case, let's try to describe it a little bit more clearly. We can say the book, forgot to put a comma here, and you can remove the space. The book, The Keeper of Secrets, another comma. And we can say represents the storyline of the character's life. And we'll make all of this red, and we can cross this out. All right. The things happen in the story are all caused by the book. Initially, Olivia found this book in the library. It appeared words. We can say it displayed words. So saying that it appeared words, it doesn't really make too much sense. It displayed words and led Olivia to a mystery journey. So we are describing the journey, so we can say mysterious, the adjective version, to describe the noun. The book kept giving Olivia clues to let her go forward. All right, nicely done. So we are choosing this, the storyline, as our answer. And if that's the case, you answered correctly in terms of how to support this sentence. How do you support your topic sentence? You picked relevant details, you described it correctly. So very well done. It is slightly different from our previous answers, which is great. You know, it's nice to see a mix of answers. So not an
Yes,
issue at all.
Yes, and teacher, I have a question.
Sure.
Uh, I think mystery is an adjective as well.
Mystery journey.
Yes.
And led Olivia to a mystery journey. I'm not entirely sure if it can be used as an adjective here. Mystery journey. I think we could say led her to a mystery, or led her to embark on a mystery. We wouldn't have to say mystery and journey together. It's kind of redundant. It's kind of like we're repeating the same thing almost. They have slightly different definitions, but still, they're both nouns in this case. Yeah, I think in this case we would have to change it to mysterious, just to make it a bit clearer as to how we're describing the journey. Or you can change up the phrasing entirely. You can say embark on a mystery if you want to keep mystery as a noun.
Okay, thank you.
No problem. Good points, though. Excellent points to include there. But yeah, overall, very nicely written. Great structure. Just a couple of phrasing issues here and there, but not too bad. George, can you read your answer for us, please?
Yeah. The book that involves really simple lines, self-discovery and the search of truth by preventing unraveled changes and guiding her through the mysterious journey. It pushes her to confront her fears, reflect on her identity, and uncover hidden truths. Through the book, Olivia learns to embrace her journey and discover her true potential.
All right, so great answer here. Pretty much along the same lines as our previous answers. We're describing it as self-discovery this time, which is a great term. And we are presenting some very relevant details here. Yeah, if we wanted to add a more specific detail, like a quote or a specific action that happened in the story, that would take your answer to another level. For now, solid answer. I do want to change this real quick because it is the name of the story, of the book. Let's put quotations around it. And we're introducing it, so let's put the comma. The book, yeah, okay. We'll put commas on both sides. All right. Yeah, that seems to be about it. So, solid answer. Not too bad. We do have another question. Normally we have two questions here, but we're kind of running out of time. I want to spend some time on our lesson plan, so let's go to our lesson. Atmosphere. We've discussed this a few times already, so we kind of have a good idea of what atmosphere is all about. Essentially, it's just the mix of setting and background and experiences, emotion, tone, all of that. It's just a mix of that to define how is the story being portrayed, where is the story, what can we, if we were to put ourselves in the story, what does it feel like? So there's different elements of atmosphere. We can deal with setting, point of view, imagery, foreshadowing, figurative language, theme, and diction. I believe we've already tackled one of these passages. Yep, so we did that passage. Okay, so we didn't actually answer the questions for this passage, so let's do that now. So we've already discussed The Great Gatsby. We discussed this passage last week, but we didn't focus on these following questions. So what we're going to do now is we're going to reread the same passage, but answer new questions. So let's have someone read this paragraph here. Melinda, can you read this paragraph for us, please?
A large, sprawling mansion. It was built to imitate some Hotel de Ville in Normandy with the tower on one side spanking new under a thin beard of raw ivy and a marble swimming pool and more than 40 acres of land and garden. It was Gabesy's mansion, or rather, as I didn't know, Mr. Gabesy was a mansion inhabited by a gentleman of that name. My house was at the very tip of egg, only 50 from the Sound and squeezing between two huge places and rented for 12 or 15,000 a season. The one on my right was a colossal affair by any standard. It was a factual imitation of some Hotel de Ville in Normandy, with a tower on one side spanking new under a thin beard of raw ivy and a marble swimming pool and more than 40 acres of lawn and garden.
All right, excellent job. So we kind of have an idea of what is happening in this story, and we're talking about a large sprawling mansion. We understand that this means a giant house, fancy house, trying to imitate Hotel de Ville in Normandy. Normandy is in France. So a famous hotel, a famous establishment in France, that's what it's trying to imitate. We are talking about a large marble swimming pool, 40 acres of lawn, a large garden. So using all of this information here, we have a gist of what we can imagine, what we can visualize. So using that passage, let's answer a couple of questions. Number one, how does Fitzgerald, the author, use imagery and figurative language to portray the atmosphere surrounding Gatsby's mansion? Okay, so I think this question we actually did last week. Sounds familiar. So let's cross that out. Let's do number two. How does the setting in the passage reflect the larger themes of The Great Gatsby? The Great Gatsby is the novel. So, knowing what we know already about this passage, about the lavish lifestyle, about the fancy house, garden, all that, how does the setting reflect the larger themes of this story? So try your best to answer this question. I know we didn't actually read the entire story, but hopefully this passage still provides you with some detail. I will give you guys the passage in the chat. And if you have any questions, please let me know. All right. Well done. So I see two answers here so far. I think I'm going to take these up, and if anybody has their answers to submit as well, by all means. All right, so let's take these out of here. All right. Nathan, can you read your answer for us, please?
There was a man that owns a huge and rich mansion. He has a lavish lifestyle. He has a marble swimming pool, 40 acres of lawn and garden, and other expensive things. However, the main character has a lower class house or land. With that, this reflects to the thing that doesn't matter what lifestyle you have as long as it's enough for you.
All right. Excellent job. So the theme of this novel, The Great Gatsby, definitely a hard theme to identify with just only that one paragraph I gave you guys. So I'm not going to fault anybody for not getting the theme or whatever it is. So as long as you guys list your own theme and you back it up, then we're good to go. Just like you did here, Nathan. Nicely done. You talked about the theme as it doesn't matter what lifestyle you have as long as it's enough for you. Just being satisfied with your own lifestyle. Perfect. Nicely done. So let's proofread this. There's a man that owns a huge and rich mansion. He has a lavish lifestyle. He has a marble swimming pool, 40 acres of lawn and garden, and other expensive things. However, the main character has a lower class house. With that, this reflects to the theme, of course, to that theme. Yeah, very nicely done. So it's kind of like the theme of the grass is not always greener. Don't always compare yourself to other people. Just be glad with what you have. All that kind of stuff. So nicely done. I can't really edit anything here. You wrote it very well. Let's move on to our next answer. Jason, can you read your answer for us, please?
The environment surrounding Gatsby's home was luxurious. The house was completely new and it had a large garden, a swimming pool. The place where the house was built was also extremely marvelous. It was near the beach and the tower was nearby. It reveals the theme of the waste of rich people and the wealth between poor and rich.
All right. Excellent job. So again, we're describing the house as very luxurious, very new, a lot of space. So yeah, the way you're writing this is excellent. I don't really see any corrections that I can make. Just this one correction here. So the house was completely new and it had a large garden as well as a swimming pool. The place where the house was built was also extremely marvelous. It was near the beach and a tower was nearby. It was near the beach and a tower. We don't actually have to say was nearby because we already said it was near something. So we can cross this out. It reveals the theme of the waste of the rich people and the wealth between poor and rich, and the wealth difference between the poor and rich. So even though we didn't read the entire novel, Jason, you actually got a significant theme identified. This is absolutely one of the main themes of the novel, the waste of the rich and social class, or financial class, however you want to define it, the difference between poor and rich. So excellent job of identifying that. Yeah, and nicely done to describe it as well. George, can you read your answer for us, please?
Yeah, the passage from the great identity highlights the country's wealth and his literary tuning breath. The mansion, named after a French hotel de ville, reflects his ambition to appear sophisticated and successful, despite its artificiality. The contrast between Gatsby's lavish home and the nerd's modest house emphasizes the theme of Shoestack and the Pursuit of the American Dream.
All right. Excellent answer here. So I can't proofread anything. It's written very well. However, I do want to comment on a few things. So the way that we talked about the French Hotel de Ville, the fact that we are modeling after that hotel is a key point to include because, as you mentioned, it reflects his ambition to appear sophisticated. The appearance is a big thing in this novel as well. To appear a certain way, despite not actually being a certain type of person, that is a key point to make, so excellent job. And then we talked about the pursuit of the American dream. So this, we don't have any information about this in the passage. So when we're talking about the pursuit of American dream, although it is a correct theme in this novel, we are not talking about it in the passage. So try to use what we have in the passage to support your answer. Try not to use any external resources to help you with your answer. Keep it as your own writing and, using the passage that's in front of you. Let's move on. Oh, we have one more answer. Let's check this out. Amy, can you read your answer, please?
The study in this paragraph tells us that the novel might be about the breaking of the dream of wealth. The author's home is surrounded by two very wealthy places, and the people there lived a luxurious life. So the novel might write about where wealth comes from, what wealth does, etc. In the paragraph, it writes about the Gatsby's mansion. It is extraordinarily large, gorgeous, and new. This tone makes the readers feel that Gatsby's mansion is an illusion. It breaks the dream of having an extraordinary life because it might be a dream.
All right, so nicely done. We're phrasing this in an interesting way when we're talking about breaking the dream. I'm not entirely sure what you mean by that. Well, can you further explain? What do you mean by breaking the dream?
Breaking the dream just means like you have there's a dream and you find that you can't really make that dream come true.
Okay. I see what you're saying. So it also plays into this part right here of creating an illusion. Whatever your dream is, it's not real, it's fake. So yeah, so we are identifying our theme as something that is about breaking the dream of wealth. So that's our theme. Then we're backing it up correctly by stating how all this luxurious items, like the house, the lawn, the pool, all that kind of stuff, that adds to the illusion. So the dream is not real. It's not an actual thing. It's being broken because of reality. Reality is what kind of makes us fully understand that, hey, these are just for show. No one's actually that rich. This person that's living in this house is not actually that rich. He's living a secret life. So nicely done there. There are a couple of spaces missing here. So let's proofread this. The setting in this paragraph tells us that the novel might be about the breaking of the dream of wealth. The author's home is surrounded by two very wealthy places, and the people there live, this should be singular, live a luxurious life. So the novel might write about where wealth comes from. So we actually don't need the word "so" here. We can just say the novel might write about. And you don't have to say the novel writes about something. The novel is not actually writing. So we can change this to the novel might be about where wealth comes from, what wealth does, etc. In the paragraph, it writes about the Gatsby's mansion. So Gatsby is a guy, it's a person's name, so we don't have to say the Gatsby. It writes about Gatsby's mansion. It is extraordinarily large, gorgeous, and new. This tone makes the readers feel that Gatsby's mansion is an illusion. It breaks the dream of having extraordinary life because it might be a dream. So this phrasing here, let's change it up a little bit. Because it is not accurate depiction of the reality. Because it is not an accurate depiction. All right, so excellent job. The reason I wanted you to define your theme is so that I can further understand how you're backing it up. So great job with that. You picked a very solid theme to include here, and you backed it up very nicely, especially with the use of illusion. So we're talking about all this extravagant stuff, but it's all just an illusion. Great stuff. So that's the last answer that I have here. So let's move on. We only have like a minute left in class, so I guess we can't really do another question. Well, I can just tell you guys what's going to happen next time. We're going to continue with atmosphere, but we are also going to focus on writing our own passages to create atmosphere. So we're not just studying famous literature, we're going to write a little bit of our own paragraphs as well. So keep that in mind for next week. But that's it for today's class, guys. Great stuff as always. Really like the participation. I'll see you all next week. Take care.
Thank you. Bye.
Thanks. Bye.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.
See you.
Thank you. Bye.